Okay, so we continue with number 7. Uh, some things are just basic definitions. We're kind of re-outlining some of the important parts of chapter 3. But number 7, if a competitive firm's marginal cost curve is U-shaped, then, and the answer is going to be D if we look through all of that. Its short-run supply curve is the upward sloping portion of the marginal cost curve that lies above the short-run average variable cost curve. Yeah, who wants to read all of this? Sometimes they say the same thing in a slightly different language, but this is literally just telling us to kind of, regurgitate a graph. I know I kind of use this as a canvas, but it's like, what the heck? Let's kind of enlarge this a little bit. Okay, yeah. So I know it's kind of weird if we have a graph underneath it, but let's just like ignore the graph that's underneath if we can, even though it is a very similar graph. So we try and kind of do this neat. We're trying to kind of make this point, so we do it neat. But what do they say? The marginal cost is U-shaped. So kind of exaggerating it there, but that's the marginal cost. We don't know if it's a perfect parabola. It's U-shaped, not necessarily parabolic. Okay, so it's very often the case that we have something like this. And I want to kind of do it right when they intersect, that the slope here is 0. If we don't quite nail that on the thing, that's fine. But usually we have it. When that goes through, the slope might be 0 right there. Yeah. So what is that? That's the AVC, of course, is what that is. The average variable cost. Yeah, so we kind of know this. This has to be the minimum right here. Yeah, that point right there is going to be the minimum here. This is price as a function of quantity, right? So it kind of takes me a long time, people watch the video and it's kind of like, what's the point? I do agree. It's, maybe the 4th time that we've drawn this graph here. Yeah. But we're just making the point that the marginal cost, which is the price, yeah, perfect competition, so price is marginal cost. We don't need it here, but it's also marginal revenue. Yeah, but we always have to be above the AVC. So over in this area, we shut down here. That's shutting down. And then this is the part that we want to trace. We have to have an upward sloping marginal cost, and we have to be above the AVC. So we're just basically illustrating that one thing. Its short run supply curve is upward sloping portion of the marginal cost curve that lies above the short run average variable cost curve. Yeah, it's just regurgitating the same thing that we've done a few times in a row. So let's leave that one behind and go to number 8. Okay, now it's like, we were just here and it's kind of looking at something quite similar here. So before I read the problem, let's kind of consider, it's not really a formal class. We're just kind of having a discussion on these things. So we just give the answer away, which is Q equals Q3. We might as well say that Q equals Q3. That's the answer before we read the problem. Then we give a line of reasoning. Yes, all the same concept, very similar to the previous problem. So number 8, the following figure represents the marginal cost. Yeah, let's kind of see all of it. The following figure represents the marginal cost, the average total cost, and the average variable cost. The average total cost, I'm just looking at that AC there. The average total cost, the average variable cost of firm gamma, a small firm in a competitive market. In the short run, Given market price P, gamma maximizes its profit by producing quantity. Okay. So the answer is Q3. So I know kind of the little pieces that we forget here. We know that we cannot be over here in Q1 and Q2 because we say it over and over. Yeah, but if we're at Q3, the marginal cost, the blue is the marginal cost, upward sloping marginal cost right here. If we're at Q3, the price, which is the marginal cost, is going to be higher than the AVC. So for the trillionth time, that's important. Of course, if we're right here, we're going to be below that. Yeah, the marginal cost is below. And if we're right here, the marginal cost is below. We obviously don't want that. The question that a lot of people would ask is, why not Q4? Can we not have Q4? Yeah, if we're at Q4, we understand how to read the graph. The price is right there and we're right there. So if we're at Q4, we're above the AVC, we're actually above the AC as well, the average total cost. Okay, so there's something kind of confusing here. This is the marginal cost, yeah. When the marginal cost, I want to say it right there. Yeah, the marginal cost, the average cost. When the marginal cost is above the average cost, it drives the average cost up. When the marginal cost is below the average cost, it drives the average cost down. We don't ever want to be above the average cost. So to kind of conceptualize back from the chapter, that's a little bit harder. But yes, we do always want to be in this area here. So we always want this area here, therefore it has to be Q3. So that one is going to be D, which is Q3. So I think number 9 is just stating a very similar definition. If price is between the average variable cost and the average total cost, the best and most practical thing for a perfectly competitive firm to do is what? Yeah, those are not them. So we don't worry about that one so much. The correct answer is going to be E. Yeah, so for 9, if we're above the AVC, but below the ATC, if the price is between the AVC, above the AVC, and less than the ATC, the best and most practical thing for a perfectly competitive firm to do is going to be, yeah, so remember, in that region, we're going to have, we're going to continue operating, right? But we do have to plan to go out of business. So I think E is the correct answer. Yeah, so E above the AVC means cover variable costs and minimize losses.